Here's why I don't want to leave when it comes to quant. Nothing I say is financial advice. However, I remember when I first entered into quant back in 2022. I started at around 120 bucks at one point. I remember that when it comes to quant. And ever since then, I've been dollar cost averaging once a month. Now, this is just personally what I'm doing. I'm not telling anyone to do anything. However, as of right now, quant, it's below $70. However, the thing is this. I didn't make it this far just to leave. This is not my mindset. I'm not telling anyone to do anything again, but in theory, people like to tell me, well, hypothetically, it could go lower. And maybe, right? I can't control this. I can't control the market anyway. I'm just one person. However, I just don't want to lock it all in. That's a thing. I'm not going to ride it all the way down just to leave like that, because if I just leave, I just realized all of it. I don't want to do that personally in my perspective. And personally, I don't want to exit anyways. So if I don't want to exit anyways, I'm still going to be doing what I've been doing, which is dollar cost averaging once a month. That's it. Quant, I don't feel like inherently became a bad project by any means. If anything, I think it's actually improving, right? We take a look at what it's trying to do with quant fusion and all this. Like, I feel that it's actually been innovating and trying to do something ever since I started believing in it back in 2022, which has been a long journey, by the way, because we're in 2026 as of right now. But I kind of believed in it somewhat near the end of 2022. So yeah, that's my mindset. However, when I take a look at it, Quant, as of right now, still has around 160,000 holders. Like, it's not that bad, in my opinion. Like, sure, it's a drop in the bucket, so to speak, right? It's just a drop in the ocean, considering how there's over 600 million owners within this space as of right now. So this is barely even 1% of that, or even barely half a percent of that, I should say. However, I just don't want to give up because I'm looking to dollar cost average. So if I'm able to dollar cost average back at levels that are quite similar to 2022 in 2026, I'm not going to complain if my intent is to dollar cost average, which it is. So this is why I just haven't given up. And I think quant fundamentally as well, I don't feel like it's just a project that just might be randomly forgotten about, because Quant, even as of right now, it's still top 70 in the world, keep in mind, in terms of this space, in terms of market cap. Like, it's currently ranked number 65, again, within that category, right, of market cap within this space. People like to tell me, well, this project that's ranked 481st is going to survive, or this project out there that's ranked 723rd is going to make it. And maybe, right, I can't control that. Some things could happen. But if they could survive, if they could make it through a market downturn, suddenly the 65th ranked project randomly isn't, yeah, I just have a hard time believing that. So if, like, again, those projects can survive, I don't know why this can't. But this is just my mindset. And also, there's around 160,000 holders as we speak, right, when it comes to quant. It could go lower, though. But there's allegedly still a lot of people holding, at least from what I can see. And just kind of a thing I want to mention, the maximum supply of quant, depending on where I take a look at it, right? I mean, sometimes it's like 14.5 million, sometimes it's around 14.8 million, but you know what, tomato, whatever is going on there. But besides that, even if we remove 5 million Bitcoin from the maximum supply, that's 16 million. That's not even Quant's maximum supply. Again, Quant's maximum supply is not even 15 million. But of course, it's apples to oranges, because Bitcoin is just always going to be more popular than Quant. I'm totally aware of that, but it's just some food for thought for me, at least, where I just think about, oh wow, like, actually the supply when it comes to Quant is not like so ridiculous. But of course, it's going to be relative to the project, right? Because it's not that the project that has the lowest supply becomes the most popular or something. No, that's not true, right? If a project has a low supply but no one really cares about it, it's not really rare in that sense. But when I take a look at Quant, I still like the use case. So relatively speaking, for what it is, I do find that supply, relatively speaking, to be somewhat low in my mind. Because if we take a look at Quant, more specifically, if we take a look at the Quant network, it's made up of the Overledger OS and the Overledger network. The Overledger OS allows something called a multi-chain application to be built, an application that is built on top of multiple blockchains instead of just one. And I think that right there is just really cool overall, because imagine if I could make an application that takes advantage of the speed of the Stellar blockchain and also at the same time taking advantage of the strength of the Bitcoin blockchain. That'd be pretty cool in my perspective. Now, this is just all hypothetical, right? I'm just using an example, but I'm just saying. Now, the Quant network, again, I just explained the Overledger OS, but then there's also the Overledger network. However, the Overledger network is made up of the Overledger OS users, so yeah, it's kind of a more simple explanation when it comes to that. However, when I take a look at Quant overall, I still like the fundamentals, I still like the listings, and I just haven't given up. Now at 2000, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around 24 billion. We're around 29 times lower than that. Quant's not doing the best as of right now. But actually, again, at 2 grand, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around 24 billion, around 60 billion less than Dogecoin's all-time high market cap back in 2021. I mean, is that so ridiculous for me to think about if there's actually a fully fledged type of altcoin season? I don't think so, personally in my mind. But we'll wait and see. I don't think I'm seeing an altcoin season. However, I'm going to be waiting, holding, and that's pretty much about it. But I just don't want to leave as of right now. I refuse to leave when it comes to Quant, even though I'm not telling anyone to do anything. And I just want to say thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a very nice day. It's Malik the Captain.